Welcome back everybody into another weekly recap. This one is the first weekly recap that we're going to see on EurUsd. So that's quite a big news. From this week I'm only trading and scalping EurUsd. So this is what we're going to look at for the time being. So this format is more like a backtesting session, because I was backtesting and I was looking at my style right now. As you can see here already, that I'm the last weeks, I will say, that I started understanding the one bias session. So for example, in this case, this is Monday, and as per analysis, I will only be looking for buys at these PSAs and sells only below this level. I will not be looking for sells at this rejection. I will not be looking for sells if we go below here. And yeah, this is a double bias. This is a single bias, because I will not be looking for sell here at the rejection, because I'm still in a bullish bias. So if the price actually goes bullish, I take my buys, then I see a rejection, I will not start to look to take for sells, but I will stay in the buy bias. So even if the price goes back here, I will only be looking for buys from here, breakout here. So I might not take some opportunities. Maybe at these sells, I will not take them, because I'm only looking for buys. And that's quite interesting, because yes, I might lose some opportunities. Maybe I understand there's exhaustion at these highs, but I will only be looking for buys, and missing this opportunity can be a tough time for my ego, but can still give me so much clarity, because okay, yeah, do whatever you want. I will only look for buys here, do whatever you want. I will look for buys here. Only sells with the rejection below and closing below here. So let's have a look at it, because I want to backtest it and see, okay, with my style, with my pre-plan analysis, am I profitable? It's good enough? Or I'm wasting too many juicy opportunities? So let's start with this. It was the pre-plan analysis at the start of New York on Monday. So we're going to see here, we're not going to use the replay, we're going just to see the price action and understand it. So as you can see here, we are approaching the New York Open, and we are already down below this level, because I think on Monday, this is the 9th of March, let me see, Monday was the 6th, okay. Yeah, when I did it, that the price was around here, so that's why I was looking for bounce. As you can see here, price made a little bit of a dip, but still, I will not be, that's the thing, I will not be shifting into a sell bias just because the price is closing below here. I will just stick to my plan. So now, for example, I would only look for, in this case, yes, we are dipping below, but I will only be looking for buys here, buys there, buys if the pullback is deeper and we bounce from this level, and only sells from there. So let's have a look at it. Okay, so as you can see here, EurUsd made a little bit of a dip, and what actually happened was exactly this, was okay, I'm not shifting into short-term sells, but I'm looking for buys. So when we have this pullback, deeper pullback pre-New York, that goes and retests these previous lows, goes and retests these the highs of the order block, that's where we could have had some bullish confirmation for the continuation up. This could have been a 5 to 10 pip stop loss NTP, and it would have gone. As you can see here, we understand now that we have a first strong rejection, but now we are still in a bullish bias. So what does that mean? Another thing is, okay, I have my PPLs. This PSA this one does not mean that I'm only looking for buys over there. If I stick to a bullish bias, so I'm not afraid of this rejection, what if I'm still in a bullish bias, that's where I would be able to understand that, okay, price is now retesting these previous highs on the left hand side. We're retesting multiple times. That's where I could take another entry, another bullish entry over here. Still, there can be also a 4 pip stop loss, just to either the previous highs for a 2 to 1 or the usual 5 to 10. In this case, I think it will not be profitable, but as you can see, 5 pips is too much. So you can use a 4 to 8. Let's see. Not even. 4 to 8. 80, 40. And I want to save it as EurUsd 8. EurUsd 8. Because it's something that happens a lot of having this kind of TP and stop loss. Understanding, as I was saying, understanding that we are still on a bullish bias. So I'm not changing at this previous high, saying, yeah, this is a resistance, I have to sell. I will look for any rejection to sell. I will look at this double top to sell. No, I'm sticking to a bullish bias, unless I'm proven really wrong by the market, not by my idea. So as you can see here, the price is giving me multiple taps of my PPL. So that's where, as a scalper, I could also take multiple scalp buys. Yeah, candle rejection, and then taking my profits. So this one can also be just pasted like this, 4 to 8. And let's see, when we have the breakout goes to TP, there you go. Yes, you have multiple taps, but remember that this is a currency pair, it's not gold, it's not just going straight up or straight down, it's less impulsive, but it is showing you the market structure confirmation. And again, now what we are looking for is, okay, I never went into the sell bias, so I'm very strongly bullish again, and that's what happens here. As you can see, we are creating another block. So maybe as a scalper, that's what I will be able to do. Okay, we're creating another block down here. If now we have a confirmation of price breaking below, retesting, and then continuation down, there can be an accumulation for the sell side liquidity. But still since we have multiple confirmation and a breakout on the upside, the PPL is never been broken. As you can see here, that's where I don't need to shift into a selling bias. Maybe that's where I would need to shift, but again, yes, if I shift into a sell bias, then I will not be able to catch the pullback buys, because maybe what the price was doing simply was, okay, this is the last impulsive high, I just want to grab some liquidity, and then here at 61.8% go up, or 75% retracement matching my area going up. So why do I have to be stuck into sells if then I'm not able to react and take the buys? Maybe I'm here, I enter a little bit late, I'm only looking and hoping for the TP to be hit, and I'm not shifting into the correct bias. So that's why I want to confirm myself that this is very, very important to stick to one on single bias. As you can see here, then we have multiple confirmation. Yes, the price is showing you that this was the previous highs, as you can see here, and we are on a bullish bias, we are breaking up. This is a very short, very fast retest that gives you this upside spike. But look at here, this is like after New York Stock Exchange opening. That is another retest, giving you the opportunity to enter at the candle close at your PSA. So your PSA can either be these previous highs, or, and you can see the candle is closing exactly rejecting it, or your original. This is a key level and also 15-minute strong PSA. You can see here we are closing, this candle is closing above this order block highs, which is not even an order block, because if you just place a trend line, you can see that the sellers are unable to create lower lows, and buyers are simply putting more pressure and creating higher lows and higher highs, failing to make consistent higher highs, but the higher lows are clearly on the chart. So this top entry, that's absolutely good. And now with enough liquidity, you can take a 5 to 10 pips, because even just to go to this previous highs, then it's a 10 pip stop loss, so that's absolutely fine. Again, 4 pip stop loss can still be good. It's very nice. It gives you a lot of room if you enter here. Of course, you can't enter here with a 4 pip stop loss. You need to have at least 5, 6, and then you will need to have at least 12 to 22 more pip of take profit. But that's not the scalping that I want to do. I want to be more precise and have the best entries. So that will be the opportunity. And of course now, yes, my areas was just like that. And I saved myself some mental hustle to looking for sells at this level. What would have been a confirmation for sells would have been strong rejection, as I told you, the order block being created over here, and then breakdown, retest, and then the continuation bearish. What I will need to see at this previous PSA to avoid taking buy losses. Of course, if I have strong candle close and a retest, and then we are closing here, then still I don't want to jump into buys. But yeah, you can see that on the short term we have a shift in market structure after the rejection of the key level and strong PSA. So maybe some high risk, high reward, medium risk sells could still be good, especially if this retracement doesn't make sense as per Fibonacci retracement. So if we break actually below the 75%, if we break into this area, then okay, maybe we can take advantage of like a 10 pip downside, and still being conscious that I want to look for buys at these lows. So maybe cut the short-term sell for like 4, 8, 7, 8 pips, which is still profit, but I mean, it didn't even happen. So that's absolutely good to still stick to one single bias. And again, as I said, we only have a number because I can't predict that the price is going up. So when I see this bullish, we're clearly on a bullish bias, then it's simply market structure. So we break up and then we retest multiple times. This is like the 10 a.m. Eastern candle. We are failing to make new lows. We are retesting the PPL. And again, after this bullish, now the PSAs become 15-minute time frame or PPLs. So as you can see here, we could have had further buy scalps, like here, and again at another tap where the candle failed to close. As you can see here, multiple times on EurUsd, the best setup is actually this one, this bearish candle closing with the rejection, this bearish candle closing with the rejection, this bearish candle closing with the rejection, not having to wait, especially during high volume time, and not having to wait for the candle confirmation. You see that that's too high. Look at the size of the candles. So entering exactly here is the best, because you give yourself the best trade opportunity. And yes, the price could go and retest these previous lows, and then that's where you could have further entries. But again, look at this candle. 10 a.m. of course is always very volatile. You have this candle making a lower wick, and then the last seconds of the candle probably flipping bullish, because you see this candle basically has no lower wick. There's just a bullish price action that was grabbed for the orders were grabbed here. Let's say that it was grabbing the stop loss below these levels, below the PPL, before the continuation up. So that's why you want to wait for this, at least this candle confirmation. Yes, that's an 8 pip stop loss. You could even target this previous highs, which is exactly at 10 pips, but that's not the point of this video. Again, what we are looking for is this one, retest of these previous highs, retest of the highs of the order block. You could have multiple entry confirmation and take your further buys. You are not looking for the beauty is that you are not looking for sells. You are not, okay, look at this candle, I'm looking for sells. If we break below the PPL, I'm looking for sell because we're clearly going to reject. Or maybe I see this rejection, this strong rejection, I'm looking for sells. No, I'm sticking to a bullish bias until I'm proven wrong. This is probably like a 61.8 retracement if we measure it. Yeah, exactly. So that's why I'm also using it in conjunction with the retracement tool. Yes, the PPL is perfect and is matching the actual 61.8 retracement. So that's double confidence, double confluence for my trade. As you can see here, it goes up, makes a new higher high. So that means that we are going to track the new impulsive lows. Now you can see here we have a 60. You have a first tap of 61.8. Probably you get this if you enter here. I don't like because it's too far away from any PSA, but you can see that now the 75% retracement is giving you exhaustion and then a continuation bullish. So that's another bullish entry. So as you can see, we are never looking for a bearish bias. Never. There's no need to look for sells. Even here, you are starting to see multiple rejection at a strong liquidity area. Do you want to enter straight away? Maybe you want to enter this double top, yes. But be sure that you are able to, okay, you want to enter sells. That's probably a 10 pip TP again. As you can see here, 5 to 10 pips exactly on the dot. But now what are you doing? Are you understanding now this double bottom at your PSA, or you are lost in the sells, or you just want the price to continue further down? You can see here 5 to 10 is a perfect double bottom. You should enter even here, and that's just to retest these previous highs. Then what you do, what you're waiting for, you see now price is making a new high. So now you see that your scalp, especially if this scalp put you off. So for this scalp you fail to take this double bottom. That's when the double bias is not good, because it's preventing you from entering on the single bias all the time. But again, now we are away after the session, and the volume is starting to die down, and that's not the purpose of today. So let's go and see. This is the New York session of the following day, of Tuesday. That was not charted up because I think, let's see, on Tuesday if I traded. Okay, yeah, I have it. 6 and the 7th. So on the 7th, it was sells, only buys above the PSA. So let's have a look at it. So now, exactly. So only buys above here. And then I think it was like here sells. Sells at this previous PSA. Yes, exactly like here. And then sells at these previous lows. Let's have a look at it. Now here now was just below these previous lows. Here or below. Okay, let's just give me a break. Okay, let's see it on Tuesday. So let's see the price action. Now this is pre-New York. We're seeing now a possible bullish change in market structure. But let's see. Let's stick to our sell bias over here. So what we see now is that exactly at New York open, we have a first rejection over here. but it's exactly at New York Open. Maybe you don't want to enter over there, but then you see further rejection over here. So let me make it red. That's where you were looking for sells. So as you can see here, that's your entry. So you take, let's say you were looking for sells, so you enter over there, double top, multiple confirmation. I remember that I saw this candle here, and that's where I wanted to enter. That's like a 5 to 10, and that's where it goes to profit. You can even use a 4 to 8. Okay, 4 to 8 is not there for the short side. Okay, 4 to 8. That's because I want to target these previous lows instead of hoping that the price will actually break below, because that's our PSA. So I want to target the PPL for this scalp. So to further then maybe, as you can see here, I have further opportunities, and because that was the trade. Now this was the trade that I actually took, but also this opportunity because we have the price staying below, retesting the PPL, giving you possible further scalps. You're not looking for buys, you're not looking for anything. You're simply looking for the continuation sell unless you're proven, until you're proven wrong. As you can see here, 8 pips. That's good to go. What I actually entered was here, and I took I think 7 or 8 pips out of it. So that's actually the pullback, the end of the pullback. This is like a 50%, exactly 50% retracement of this overall move. So you see we have the bearish move, then we have a pullback, and I'm not looking for buys at these lows. I'm not looking for buys here. I'm simply sticking to sells because that's what I want to do. I want to stick to one single bias, and yeah, that maybe, yeah, the bias will only be up here when I have the confirmation of the change in market structure. So this is single bias, and you see this would have been very difficult to enter if I was sticking to 2 biases, because it's okay, is this a double bottom and the price will continue bullish, or is this a 50% retracement of the bearish side? So if I had this duality in my head, I would not be able to take this sell, but I took it because that's because of my clarity of only having a single bias. Then our next PSA for the sells is exactly this level. So this PPL, and we have here, because of course at 10 a.m. Eastern we had Powell testimony, but you have multiple confirmation of entering just on the technical side. As you can see here, now price will drop a lot, but again, same bias. This will play out with a very safe stop loss. The only thing I don't advise to enter at this candle, because this candle could have easily been now is bearish, but it could have easily been open over here. So yes, we have a 5 pips stop loss, but the first buy would be probably around here with the slippage. So I'm not advise this sell, but if we are looking just for technicals, that's what would be simply as simple as that. So we're now in a bearish bias. We're never looking for buys, never. Okay, so what we're going to see is, okay, first reaction, sells. Now we have another possible confirmation over here of a pullback at our previous PSA, and that's where you could take further sells. And remember that I'm not looking for buys, never. Not even after this candle. I'm not looking for this break and retest. Yes, maybe, yeah, it's a 10 pips, but I'm not looking for that. I'm looking for buys. So this is the pullback of this move is quite short, but you can see we are basically at 50% of the retracement, basically. But more importantly, this blue line is a strong 15-minute PSA. So that's where you would have probably entered. You could have entered over here at any of these candles, even if it was like here 5 pips is quite short because it's not even covering your same one. So maybe you have a 6 pips entry, or maybe you wait for this candle to close at this level because you want to enter as close as possible. You enter this candle confirmation. The very next one is quite but still, because now the volume is quite big and you need to have a bigger stop loss. Even at 10 pips, 10 pips to 20 will still be good. I would like to say 7.5. That's if in this candle, that's quite a good room, and a 2 to 1 would be like a 16 pip, 15, 16 pips TP. Anyway, if you take your loss, it's good as long as you re-enter, especially when you have this here, another failed to make a new high. We're not making new highs, we're failing to do so. So that's where you could have taken your further entry. Anywhere here, we were saying, like here, or maybe any late entry at the fail of the pullback, and that's still that can also be a 5 pips to 10 to 15, as you can see here down below. Then again, what you see again when you see the dust all settling down, you have the rejection of this last lower low, and we have multiple candle confirmation. Now we're getting into London close. We have multiple candle confirmation for entering the sells down to these previous lows. Give it 6 pips, because if you are trying to target those previous lows, you will need a little bit of more room. And just that, I'm not never looking for buys at this level, buys at this level, buys above here. This is a strong 15 minutes PSA. Yeah, I don't care. Maybe I will get stopped out and the price will go back up. Okay, where do I start taking buys, possible buys? Above here? Yes, but maybe it's simply the price trying to have a deeper pullback of this overall bearish move. They just want it just wants from here to grab liquidity again at a 50% to a 75%. So unless you are really scalping it, yeah, it's counter trend. So you don't really want to do that. Then what we're coming towards is Wednesday. So again, this was the pre-planned area here at 1 something. So as you can see here, this was the pre-planned analysis. Let me show that to you. This was my first trade, seeing the other trades, looking for the rejection here, and as you can see, the entry was even before the rejection. Further continuation bearish. As you can see, when the candle was bearish, that's where I was looking for it. And again, TP, looking for the rejection here. Can either be at the bottom of this order block or at these previous lows. That is matching 61.8 to 50% retracement. As you can see here, 50% retracement tap, and that's good to go. So as you can see, this was the pre-planned analysis for the Wednesday. Looking for sells again, only buys above this level, selling continuation, sells in continuation. So let's have a look at it, at what actually happened. Okay. So as you can see here, we have New York opening and making multiple rejection at this level. So this is very similar to the trade ideas of the previous day. If you remember, we had this candle close. So when we have multiple rejection of these same highs, you have multiple confirmation of entering. You don't want to enter over here. You don't want to enter over here. I think I entered over here. Yeah, I entered over here. The stop loss was above here, so it was safe with the ADP, and went to my 8 pips TP. But you will love to enter exactly at the candle close, giving you like a 4 pips. This is even, could have given you like a 2 pips TP, and that's a very good. Or even here, this is after New York open, failing to break. And you have multiple, the way, what I'm really talking about is you want to enter as close as possible to your PSA. But again, this was the first trade, because that's actually what I took, was like exactly 4 to 8 pips. That's exactly what I took. Yeah, I was lucky over here. And again, let's have a look at it. So what I'm looking for now, this can be a nice confirmation. Okay, let's have a look. This is good backtesting. Because now what we are looking at is multiple rejections at this level. I was looking for sells below, but we're looking for multiple rejections here. So should I shift in buys? No, I don't want to. I want to look at for sells at these highs again, and as much as possible. So unless I'm really proven wrong. So as you can see here, when I do the analysis, I'm not expecting multiple confirmation, I cannot expect that we're moving into a range. So I'm not looking for buys over here, and I might be looking for a sell, a quick sell scalp. This is exactly the kind of confirmation that I was talking about. Maybe it can give you 8 pips, maybe not. As you can see here, this can be a 3 pips stop loss. Let's see if a 6 pips could have been tapped, but probably, let's say that this is a break-even trade. That's fine, that's good to go. Now, what are you looking for? Now, we have this candle impulsively breaking up. Bam, bullish spike up. And then we have multiple retests of these previous lows, of these previous highs. Should I already shift into a bullish bias at this PSA? It makes sense that yes, I should. I would say that yes. Why? Because the market structure has been clearly broken on the upside, and when I did the analysis, this one was nice to have as a sell scalp, but after has been broken, and after I am understanding that we are making a flat candle body and then we are making higher lows, that's possible confirmation of a bullish bias. So we have the retest, and I don't remember if I actually shifted into it. So this is the previous day. Okay, so this was my trade, looking for continuation. And this is the next day, I would say. Yeah, this is the same day. As you can see, looking for sells. Now why? Because okay, that's good. That's good. Sticking to the single trade, single bias. This one, as you can see, has been changed. The color has been changed. Was red, was green, but then after multiple rejections, instead of looking for buys over here and said, okay, no, I think that this is just a deeper pullback for the continuation sells. So again, especially because at 4 we still have the testimony, which will hold the same bias as yesterday, the day before. I am shifting into a sell bias. Why? That's because we look at the size of the candle. Let me put it in yellow. The size of the wicks left at this top, it's very clear. We don't have a lot of bullish price action, clear candles closing above and showing you strength. And then we also have some fundamental bias, which is the possible the continuation hawkish of Powell. So that's where I was looking for these sells. Now I was not trading, I wasn't good enough with that trade, but that's when I saw it. I understood the exhaustion from bias at this level. These candles are showing you very, very clear exhaustion. That's where you could have entered for the sells, understanding the shift in the bias. So this one was buys, but then it's turning into sells. Again, now, same thing, 100%. I will show you that, okay, this is the PSA, this is the movement, and what I was looking for was the rejection of this level. This is my sell PSA, and I'm still not in a bullish. I'm not looking for buys. I'm not looking for buys here or here. As you can see, You have rejection at 75%, multiple taps. This could be a 7 to 14 because that's a huge PSA, and the continuation sells. So let's have a look at what actually I was looking during the live sells. As you can see, this is the first one and this is the second one. Probably the first one would have been a break-even, but the second one would have been a win. Exactly for the reason, staying into the sell bias, not jumping back into bullish bias. No, doesn't really matter. Then we see a top. This is the same PSA that I told you. Probably experienced scalpers would understand now this is turning into a bullish demand area. That makes absolutely sense, but not for me, because I will not be able to catch the buys over there. And yeah, probably we'll stick into the same bias. I will take further scalp sells over here, but we're now getting too late. And again, yeah, I will still, the buys, I will only be looking above this PSA, just sticking to a bearish continuation. Look at these 3 candles, showing you matching the trend line, showing you how weak the bullish price action it is, and then that's where you could have taken further sells down below this level. So as you can see, matching the trend line, that's where you could have taken further sell here, high risk, high reward, sell here. Now here at the retest of this previous PSA, as you can see here, you can shift it whatever you want, and then as you can see, 10 pips, every single bounce here, that match of the trend line. Anyway, still continuation by sells. And then we are moving into the Thursday, and we are coming from this bullish price action and here. So I was looking for buys, either at this level. I don't know if I was looking for continuation buys as well. Optimal entry. Okay, so this is Thursday. So yeah, I was looking for buys above these highs as well. 1, 2, 3, and only sells below this level. So let's see, 1, 2, 3, and only sell below this level. And I was looking for buys above here. So what we see is exactly this is pre-New York. Then we have New York open. We have multiple taps of this my buy PSA. Yes, maybe it's dipping a little bit below, but it's matching the trend line. You have multiple entry confirmations anywhere from here, and that's where I took my entry. That was quite poor because of I entered too late, too high. I entered I think around here, and I was greedy with a 3 pip stop loss, something like that. I got stopped out, and yeah, I failed to enter. But then you have multiple candle confirmation. So let's say you enter here, you could enter over there. This is exactly, look at this best entry, optimal entry at the top, and fail to close below this previous PSA, which is also this previous PSA. Yeah, that's exactly the same. So that's where you could have entered multiple times and wait for your price action to move and do its job. So as you can see, single buys. I'm not looking for sells at this confirmation sells. Okay, now we are looking at this strong rejection coming from a 15-minute time frame, multiple retest. Yeah, maybe I entered over here, it's fine. Maybe enter over here, it's fine. Maybe enter over here, it's fine, but I'm not in that bias. That's 7 p. If then I'm not able to enter buys, then it's just a waste. It's a waste of opportunities. Again, if I'm still on the bullish buys, I'm not looking for sells, not even here. Yes, it's giving me some quick scalp on the downside. It's still at 14 pips, but I would not be able to enter the buys at these previous lows. I could enter first buy at first tap over here, take my loss, because not understanding that EU loves to do a little bit of a deeper pullback, but then when I see the kind of confirmation, I can take another re-entry, 2 to 1, and I still be in profit because I took two wins, 1 loss. It's absolutely fine. That's absolutely 2, 4, and only losing 1. It's up 3% of risk, and then sticking to a single bias of bullish. Why bias over here? Because now we are making, this is like a 75% retracement, I would say. Yeah, 75% retracement over here. So maybe you took the PPL and then you took the second one and you're still in profit. Maybe you have, if you have big balls, you enter even over here, and that's absolutely good to go. And yeah, then what you see is simple. You are avoiding any sell bias. Avoiding any sell bias gives you the opportunity to take these buys over here. Why? Now I'm going to tell you why. Buy over here. Because now we are sticking to a single confirmation. So now this is the previous lows. This is actually a nice PSA because we can go back to the London and see that that's where price is having like testing it and then failing to close below, giving you a nice PSA, intermediate PSA for continuation. This will be probably a break-even trade. Now you have a full win over here and then a continuation. Then this area of buys is not really giving you strong confirmation and then a retest, because now you can see that euro-dollar is giving you deeper pullback at the top of the order block. So it's not really exactly very structured, I would say, but you see a breakout and a retest of this order block highs over here, failing to break into new lows, and that's why you could have a further single bias candle, trades. As you can see, 8 pips, and only now it's can even get late. You don't even care. You took your 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 wins, 1 loss, or maybe 1 break even. Yes, now you can understand that this area that is not giving you buys can give you sells. Look at this candle confirmation. But I don't want, because maybe as you can see here, I want to be neutral to, I want to be neutral and bullish because I want to take advantage of these buys over here, which are conveniently happening at 61% retracement, retapping this previous PSA on the left hand side for further continuation up. So you can take advantage of this full range again, add proper kind of confirmation or whenever, 5 pips, 10 pips, and that's where you're good to go. Still another failure to break. So I would say that even for sells, if you were looking for sells, you have multiple scalps on the opposite side. So that's not saying that sells would have been a bad idea, but okay, if I want to stick to one bias, I need to stick to one bias. Now what I see is the top of this area on the left hand side, this PSA, and that's where you could have taken further buy scalps. This is the candle setup that I showed you, and yeah, 5 pips is absolutely not necessary. Just a 4 to 8 is absolutely fine. Look at this candle confirmation. That's what I was talking about before. No need for the bullish confirmation if you can take the previous candle close entry. And again, 5 pips, blah, blah, still failing to break, but you can see that there's a huge bullish pressure. You can see it. So that's where now late during the night, that's where you actually have a break and retest of these previous highs and the buy PSA. But that's only because you're understanding, not taking these sells and understanding there's a wedge being created where the price is actually continuously making new higher lows. and the sellers are failing to make new lower lows. We're not making higher highs yet, but we are still on a very bullish pressure. So that's it. Again, now what we are looking for, now we break below, we break above. Now we're coming into Friday, NFP. So we have NFP at 8:30. So that's quite a mixed bias, because as you can see here, of course, we don't have an FP yet. That can change everything, but we are in a sort of big order block. We are still matching the trend line. As you can see, we are tapping it multiple times. That's also why I was looking for these buys over here, because this is a buy area and I saw this bullish confirmation. It's just that the same thing. Okay, that's a 5 pips. This would have been like a 20 pips just for the slippage, which could also have been a stop loss 20 pips for the slippage. Could have been a stop loss over here. So again, bullish bias, yes, it's working. We're tapping the trend line. No real retest, but this PSA, which was the pre-planned PSA, let me show you. Multiple buys, confirmation here, as you can see, looking and sticking to bullish bias. New York Stock Exchange, blah blah blah, taking my loss, taking possible win. As you can see here, this I was talking about. I was sticking to a bullish bias, but I had to understand which was, I was taking a buy for this order block, which was the most recent one. But as you can see, the price had to respect a bigger order block to give me further opportunities. As you can see, this was a recap of the day with multiple buys and then this continuation. Long bias, as you can see here, this is the PSA that I'm talking about. 116, 106.13, and that's really, this candle was bearish all the time, was bearish. So we have this candle, which is the previous one, like here is. This candle now was bearish, was very strong bearish. Wait a second. Okay. This candle was strongly bearish, but then in like a second, split second, it flipped bullish like this, during a lower wick, and then it was here. I wanted to enter the buys over here because of the candle confirmation. There's a high volume, the NFP and unemployment was quite on a bullish side. NFP was mixed, but the unemployment was bad. So I was on a bullish bias, but it was really a split second. So even to tap the buy button was too fast, and the price just went up like 20 pips in a couple of minutes, wasting my opportunity, but that's fine. I still sticking to a bullish bias. I'm not looking for sells anywhere. And that's where I actually had the opportunity to enter here. So I entered exactly at this previous low. At a candle close here, I entered because I don't need to wait for a candle confirmation, especially during a high volatile time. If I am at my PSA, if the price wants to go down, bullish, it will go even after if I enter over here. It's just that I will have a lower stop loss, a smaller stop loss. Yeah, if we want to do, it will do it anyway. So that's why I entered over here for a 10 pip TP. Then again, what you can see is further continuation of the bullish bias, retesting the PPL, retesting this huge PSA area, continuation bullish, and then so making a higher high. Now we are breaking above these previous highs on the left hand side, retesting, and then with possible entries, retesting the PSA, possible re-entry. This you can also place anywhere. Fibonacci 75, you can place anywhere like here, the retracement, also like this one. You could, I don't know if you would love to do it from the NFP liquidity, or maybe it's like a 50% down from below. So as you can see here, that was a 50%. Simple continuation up, and then bullish, you just buy, keep buying, buy. Maybe you buy over here, still at 10 pips. Then you fail to, that's why I don't have 20 pips, 30 pips TP. As a scalper, I don't need it. I need just simple confirmations at my PSA and to take 8, 10 pips TPs, and I'm good to go. Because now I can also be safe if this candle, let me show you, if now we have this candle and then we have the break, I'm out at break even. I'm not hoping that the price will break up every time. I'm just taking my buys to these previous highs, taking my buys to these previous highs, my highs, sometimes even less. Just that's enough profit. So not looking for sells anywhere. Maybe you same PSA and you look for buys. Same PSA, and now of course we're getting late, but 15 pips, and that's where you look for buys. I'm not looking for sells anywhere. Of course now this is probably a 50% retracement, as you can see, basically a 50% before continuation down, multiple confirmation of breaking below the PSA. Now it's another session. I would say it's another session. It's like starting the day over. Okay, now we are coming here. We are only looking from here. So if I'm here, I want to look for, maybe I want to look for sells at these previous highs or at this previous here. Here only buys will be above here and sells in continuation below. So let's have a look. So we have the first rejection, multiple taps, and then, okay, price is staying below our PSA. As you can see, multiple times, multiple kind of confirmation. That's more like a 5 to 10 pips stop loss. Goes to your TP. And then you simply stick to your buys. Okay, I want to take sells. Look, another kind of confirmation at the same PSA, same trade, exactly the same. It fails to break below, yeah, I don't care. I'm not looking for buys, I'm looking for either further sells or continuation sells now below here. Of course now it's Friday, it's getting late, the volume is dying down, but that's why sticking to a single bias until unless you are really proven wrong, it's very good. And as you can see here, look at where, zoom out and look at where we are bouncing now. So that's reasonable. So guys, I hope you guys enjoyed. It's a very long video, I would say. Yeah, 52 minutes. But I hope you guys enjoyed this weekly recap, and we'll see you on Monday.